Now, I would like to request Mahir Taswar from GHSM Honors Final Year to take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Abir. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Mahir Taswar. By holding the tune of my previous speaker, I would like to add that according to the National Education Association, the global climate change is largely caused by human activity, resulting in significant measurable damage to the earth and its inhabitants. No doubt, the present condition of extreme heat we are facing in Bangladesh is also happening because of us. We, human beings, are solely responsible for it. To combat the adverse impact of climate change, contribution and collaboration among policymakers, higher education institutions, academia, and private sector is essential. In this phase, we would like to mention the insight of some other projects done by our department. First one is urban eco-sustainability and disaster risk reduction by implementing vertical garden in Dhaka city. This study was conducted with an objective to produce a map of ecosystem services of vertical gardening and urban resilience, and what are the possible challenges and opportunities regarding this. Vertical gardening is an agricultural technique that is very impactful on rooftop. In urban settings, it provides shades to dependent by vertical gardening, not only creating chances to get some fresh food, but also creating some new job opportunities. As we are facing the record highest temperature in recent times, these techniques could be the solution for increasing the vegetation rate of capital of Dhaka. There are some interesting and significant findings from the authors. According to the authors, there are three types of vertical gardening in Dhaka city: intensive vertical gardening, semi-intensive vertical gardening, and extensive vertical gardening. The authors did not find any rooftop that practices a single type of vertical gardening. For cultivating fruits, they prefer intensive vertical gardening, as intensive vertical gardening uses the least amount of soil depth. Common fruits like banana, mango, papaya is the most successful in this technique. For cultivating vegetables, most of the time they prefer semi-intensive vertical gardening, as it needs more soil for cultivating vegetables like cucumber and bottle gourds. Extensive types are mostly used for planting flowers and ornamentals and spices, as it needs more depth of soil. Success stories of farming different variants of hybrid species are widely visible, while some face hindrance dealing with local species of vegetables. Opportunities of vertical gardening are huge. Nowadays, vertical gardening not only acting as a hobby, but also providing provisioning services, supporting services, regulating services, and cultural ecosystem services. A regular housewife who had these spaces in the roof could be self-dependent by vertical farming. As urban heat island and carbon emission are emerging threat for the world, vertical, vertical gardening could be the solution. It can play a vital role in slow down the temperature rise over the year by contributing to evapotranspiration. It provides shades to the building in summer by saving from the heat of the sunlight. It could also absorb the sound by 46 to 50 decibels, which can help us reducing the noise pollution. It also purifies the air and reduces the contamination of air. It allows us to recycle regularly generated waste and provides an opportunity to improve our food security. As we understand, nothing so good comes so smoothly. Vertical garden has some challenges as well. Using vertical gardening provides extra weight to the building, so there is a chance of building collapse if it was not maintained building code properly. If the site is not cleaned regularly, it could function as a breeding site for vector-borne diseases, which will eventually make the surrounding people more vulnerable. For business purposes, it is not that successful yet. It needs a big investment to start, but the outcome is really slow. For implementing vertical gardening perfectly, we need to have an ample knowledge about it. Most of the beginners do not have proper knowledge of the vertical gardening, so they fall into a big loss and loses their interest, which might lead those endeavors into a shortfall. Another one was a field visit on assessing the social and environmental vulnerability of Gabura Union, Shamnagar, Satkira. The field visit was carried out by the batch 2018 under the supervision of Assistant Professor Istifa Nabila and Assistant Professor Salik Chakma. The purpose of the field visit was to assess the social and environmental vulnerability of Gabura Union of Shyamnagar Upazila, Satkhira. Gabura Union is an isolated landmass. Due to its geographic position, it is considered as one of the most vulnerable areas of Bangladesh. The impacts of climate change are widely visible here. Almost every year, it faces tropical cyclones and storm surges. The students, along with the respected faculties, conducted field surveys, interviews, key informant interviews. After analyzing the field data, we have pointed out some key vulnerabilities. Since almost every year this union faces cyclone and cyclone-induced storm surges, the quality and water security are the biggest threat in this community. The gendered water collection process makes women and teenage girls the most vulnerable people in the area. With the high tidal surges, the salt water enters in the shrimp and crab enclosures and flooded away the annual investment of the local farmers. After Cyclone Aila of 2009, the scarcity of pure drinking water was widely visible. Most of the sources of pure water went underwater. Sweet water ponds filled with salt water overnight. From 2009 to this day, the situation has not improved significantly. Non-governmental organizations like PKSF and DFID jointly running LIFT program to collect and distributing rainwater to the local people, but not enough. Another problem was prevalent in this community, which is the isolation of tiger widows. Women whose husbands were killed by the tigers are locally named as tiger widows, though it is decreasing day by day. Since this union is situated near Sundarbans, many of the local people are highly dependent on the mangrove forest of Sundarban for their livelihood. For livelihood, they have to take their life risks to roam in the deep Sundarbans, and unfortunately, some of them won't be able to return. Shrimp farming is a very popular livelihood in this area, although it is one of the causes of the salinity intrusion here. People have to use this saline water of tube well and pond. It makes local people more vulnerable to long-term skin diseases and kidney diseases. Very few health complexes and medical campaigns are main source of health services for the people of this area. The locals have to travel to the town of Shyamnagar for any kind of treatment. Due to salinity, common vegetables are hardly grown here. With such challenges, life of Gabura people goes on. People living in this area, living is not only living for them, it's kind of a survival mission. At a time when individuals are increasingly encouraged to help the environment through changing their everyday behaviors, whether it's reducing food waste or using fewer disposable plastics. There is a very beautiful quote by J.R.R. Tolkien on this: little by little, one travels far. The only way we will get anywhere is by individual people doing small things in their everyday lives. Like if we turn off the light in the daytime, use eco-friendly bags instead of plastics, and use cycles to go to school every day instead of cars. Although this seems insignificant, but if 1,000,000 of us did that, what will be the impact? The impact will be huge. In the beginning, we might be the one of a very few, but in time, others will follow our example. Hopefully, that will lead us to some positive changes in the long run, and we'll be able to ensure a sustainable environment for the future generation. Thank you everyone for your patience here.